Charous here, Charous there, Charous everywhere. In fact, the Charous here, KC, Caro, Charo in the house. Listen up, guys. We're talking about Durban Charous and Charous in South Africa, actually. We landed here 160 years ago in the port city of Durban. And what impact do we have on South Africa and indeed Durban? Well, we're quick to poke fun of our fellow Charous in Durban. Charous here, Charous there, Charous everywhere. Everywhere you go, you see Charous. But have you took a moment to step back and understand and appreciate the economic impact that Charous Indian people have on the city of Durban and indeed the South African economy? Let's put it into perspective. Let's consider Ushaka Marine World, Galleria, Pavilion, Gateway, Phoenix Plaza, Chatsworth Center. Have you considered what those entities would look like without Charous? Let's take it one step further. Sibaya Casino, Suncoast Casino. Without Charous? Now do you see my point? Need further convincing? The Vodacom Durban July is one of the biggest horse racing events on the planet. Do you think the Vodacom Durban July will be as big as it is without the Charous? Think about that. In fact, any other sports betting, it's a multi-million rand industry. Who do you think makes that industry tick? Yeah? Need further convincing? Have you been to any event in Durban, like a comedy show or a live event or a festival? Yeah? Have you noticed 60 to 70% bums on the seats are who? Charous, of course. And have you ever wondered why some of the major events don't come to Durban? Because the show promoters realized years ago that if the event doesn't appeal to the Indian community, it's a flop. In fact, Moses Mabhida, the only successful events hosted at Moses Mabhida Stadium were Bollywood events that appeal to the Indian community. Need further convincing? Well, let's take the Proteas versus whoever. Kingsmead Stadium. Whose bums do you think are on the grass? Eh? East Coast Radio, the biggest radio station in KZN. Who do you think makes up the bulk of the listeners? ICC Durban. Which are the biggest weddings and most lavish weddings to be hosted there? Yeah? And let's consider the MSC. You think that ship will be docking here in South Africa, if it wasn't for the Charous, who make up 60 to 70% of the capacity on that ship? I mean, come on, the smallest population in South Africa, only 1.5% of the population, makes up 60 to 70% of the capacity. And which other community hosts an event for themselves, like a Bhangra? Have you heard of white community, colored community, black hosting an event specifically for them? Only we can do that. And what about festivals and all of that in Durban? Which are the biggest festivals in Durban? Diwali Festival, Hare Krishna Festival, Sukh Fair, charity fairs, etc. All Charous. Even car shows, drags, etc. Who rules the roost? Charous rule the roost. Are you getting the picture? Are you getting the picture? Now do you realize that the Indian population in Durban drives the economy in Durban and contributes extensively to the South African economy? Further, the average Indian taxpayer is a homeowner, ratepayer and taxpayer. Look, I don't know exact figures, but I can tell you now in Durban, Indian ratepayers contribute at least 60 to 70% of the city's coffers, the money they use to run the city. Yet we are treated like second-class citizens. Our once beautiful townships, Chatsworth, Phoenix, are reduced to ruins. Service delivery almost non-existent. And our people are now forced to pay exorbitant, sometimes double the rates for lights, water rates. And if we talk about disputes or taking them on, threats of cutting off supply come easily. Yet a township like Soweto for years has been owing billions to Eskom, and yet no power cuts whatsoever. Then informal settlements, transit camps, etc. are placed slap bash in the middle of formal housing in our communities, resulting in devaluation of properties which our parents slogged to build. I mean, a man's home is his castle, and our parents a lifetime of struggle to build a home as an investment and something to hand down to their kids, now being devalued. And when these informal settlements decide to protest and riot, the Indian community is the first target. Yet we are the first responders when in need of assistance. The Indian community has a proud and rich history of helping the black community, and I have first knowledge of this. But sadly, we are the first to be attacked by the same community, and the city council and government turns a blind eye to this. Further, BEE, triple B, double B, all of those things have ensured that we are overlooked when it comes to the job market. Pre-1994, not white enough. Post-1994, not black enough. Our people are left to find our own way, but we do it. Education, the key pillar to the Indian community, but our kids have the odds stacked against them because they are subjected to higher standards than others. They must achieve higher marks, higher grades to achieve acceptance in tertiary institutions. And then there's the vilification of Indians by the likes of Julius Malema and company. We are labeled racist and said to degrade, belittle, and ill-treat black people. Last year when he ranted in Chatsworth about that, all platforms, radio, television were going on, focusing on how Indians ill-treat and disrespect and are racist towards black people. Yes, there are a lot of people that do that, of course, but then they fail to focus on the majority of Indians who seek to uplift, protect, and look after our black brethren where possible. No major politician or government official or celebrity or famous person came to the aid or defense of the Indian community to speak up for us. In fact, our own people didn't even speak up for us, our own so-called leaders. And then there's the constant, never-ending narrative that we were more privileged than black people, even though our forefathers arrived here as slaves, lived in deplorable conditions, and were uprooted and moved when they were finally settling down. And we will never hear the end of go back to India. Or when will we hear the end of go back to India? Or will we ever hear that go back to India narrative? Well, quite frankly, I'm heartful of this cuck. I'm a South African citizen and I have every right to be here as anybody else. And if government is not prepared to hear us, acknowledge us and afford us our due, then it's time I think we stand up for our rights and who we are as an Indian people here in South Africa. Look, there's a newly formed organization called the National Indian Congress of South Africa, of which I'm a founding member and the spokesperson, and this movement is calling for action by the Indian community, especially of Durban and surrounding areas. We're starting with that area there. Our campaign is simply called Park by the Posy. That's right, Park by the Posy. On Saturday, 12th December, which is earmarked to be, it's earmarked to be a momentous occasion in the history of all South African Indians in South Africa. On the 12th of December, all Indians, especially those in Durban and surrounding areas, the call is for you to park by the Posy. That is, refrain from visiting places like Ushaka, Gallery, Pavilion, Chatsworth Center, Phoenix Plaza, Sabaikis, Suncoast. All those places you will boycott. Stay away. The object of this exercise is to highlight, look, the stores and the malls are going to take a hiding economically, yes, but the objective is to show that Indian people have a major impact on the economy. They play a massive role in the economy of Durban and indeed South Africa. In this our 160 years in South Africa, this protest is said to be the biggest in living memory of the Indian community in South Africa. And in keeping with our culture, values and norms, it is a peaceful protest. We afford respect, value to state and private property and respect people's lives. If you feel like me and thousands of others are tired of being taken for granted, disrespected and treated like second-class citizens, then you will join us and show solidarity with us. The naysayers say, nah, it won't work, Indians won't stand together. Well, I believe in the power of one. I am that one person. I want to convince you and I want you to convince somebody else so that we can make a difference. Listen, if you don't do it for any other reason, for no other reason, do it for your children, your nieces, your grandchildren, your nephews. Because let's be honest, most of us here, our time on this earth is over. Our time on this earth is over. If we do anything, it is for the future of your children. Ask yourself, if not now, then when? The time is now. Join the movement. Park by the Posy. All you want to do, share this video. Share it with your friends on your WhatsApp group, Facebook groups, whatever. And then the only thing you want to do on Saturday, 12th December, do nothing else, park by the Posy. Have a braai, make a chicken curry, fresh chicken on the fire. Do whatever you do, stay at home. Do not go out and support any of these outlets, any of the entertainment centers. Join us in the movement. Park by the Posy. Like our Facebook page, Park by the Posy. Join our WhatsApp group. Details on the screen now. Twitter handle at Park by the Posy. If you'd like to join us, be part of the movement, we'll appreciate your help. The WhatsApp number on the screen now. Also our email address info@nicsouthafrica.co.za. Park by the Posy. If not now, then when? You got to be in it to win it. Stop complaining. Stop bitching. It's time to take a stand. KC, I'm out.